Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's been a minute. Wait. I apologize. It's been a while since I went live. Crazy couple of weeks. Started school again, back in the full swing of things, and I needed to devote time to getting my mind right for my students. So I wasn't trying to ignore you guys, but I had to focus on getting my mind right for my babies and my students, my adopted unofficial children for the next 10 months. I had to get my mind right. So I do want to thank everybody that showed up to the live stream. We're going to have a dope discussion. And I'm excited about the guests, and I'll be introducing the guests in a moment. But before we get started, you know what I like to do? I like to shout out some of the people that are here. So first, shout out to everybody that have newly subscribed to the channel and all my old subscribers. Not that you're old, but you're old to the family. You know, you're like old school Harrison family vlogs. Like you're the old school Harrison extended family. So if you've hit subscribe and you joined the channel through memberships, you are part of the Harrison extended family. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys, and you guys rock, man. I do this for you guys. Have nice conversation, get us all thinking, even sometimes having hard conversations in a way that's respectful, where everyone can leave with their dignity intact. Like that's the goal, right? We can disagree on some things, but we're mature adults that can disagree in a way that is like, okay, yeah, I can't rock completely with what you're saying, but I respect you for who you are, and I think your ideas can be dumb, but you may not be dumb. All right, that's what we're about here. So, and you know, man of faith, saved by grace, merch in the description. So, you know, go support the channel. But yeah, we're gonna have a dope conversation. So everybody in the chat, Todd Bangs, Black Light Revelation, my mother, hey mommy, Real Talk 87. Somebody I just realized I don't recognize the three fates. Thank you so much for being here. Not sure how to answer that question. Yeah, you know what? I think that's gonna be a tough question. I have a poll in the chat. It's just just a poll, right? So yeah, answer the question in the poll, and yeah, that's it. But without further ado, let's get into the discussion. All right. I don't want to keep my guest on too long. She's been exploding in these YouTube streets. She has been on some amazing platforms, and the platform she's building on YouTube is nothing short of amazing. So let me, without further ado, bring her on. We have Rebecca Barrett in the house. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Like you've been on some high profile channels. And first off, thank you so much for coming to my humble channel and joining me in this conversation. I really appreciate it. But you've been doing some amazing things in the past couple of months in YouTube, and have God has put you in a place where people who would not normally probably would talk to you about things like this are talking to you about things like this. And you are in a position where now your voice is being influential among the influential voices in this space here. So I do thank you so much for being a part of joining in tonight with me and having this really deep, tough, but necessary discussion.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I mean, it's been exciting to see everything that's been happening. You know, what's crazy is that at the beginning of this year, I lost my dad, and it was the toughest 6 months of my life. And then I got back on YouTube because, you know, I think God really put it on my heart. Like, you need to start speaking again. Like, you need to start doing this. And my channel went from 3,000 subscribers to now I'm at like close to 45K. And I'm still sitting here like, what is going on? But I know it's only by the grace of God, and like, you know, he's just blessed me so much in this year, and so many things have been changing. So yeah, I'm just excited, and we're here for it.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, you even have some deep conversations, but at the core of it, there's like really zero compromise there. Like you stick to your guns, you know, your values is evident. So it's not like, you know, some people, they tend to you know, do what's necessary for you to growth instead
Yeah.
of being who they are and allowing the growth to happen. Like my wife tends to check me on that. In
Mhm.
fact, couple of months ago, um, I did a video about it was about I forgot the pastor's name, but he talked about how God's going to avenge Black Americans, and my wife was like, "Well, I know you that's something that you're passionate about, but the controversy will probably bring viewers to your channel,
Mhm.
but you don't want to sort of compromise who you are and what you're about just so that you can get views." And I see that you've been sticking to your faith without compromising, and yes, you talk about some deep things that, frankly, a lot of believers don't want to talk about and they
Mhm.
shy away from. You know, that's a nice conversation. It's going to probably be one of those type of conversations, right? The thing is, I'm not even sure if we're going to agree on everything, but I
I
think that this is
know.
going to be a great time for us to just have a discussion, open, honest, and even share some scriptures at the end. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah. So again, I guess we can get started with the questioning, right? Well,
Mhm.
first, tell us a little bit about who you are. And you told us a little bit about your channel,
Yeah.
but a little bit about who you are and your background so that they can understand why I asked you specifically to have this conversation with me.
Yeah, so my name is Rebecca Barrett. I will be celebrating my 1 year anniversary marriage next month, October 3rd. I'm really excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Any
I'm
big
really
plans?
excited.
Big plans?
Uh no, we're
No,
literally
it's
just
COVID.
gonna go to yeah, we're probably just gonna go to dinner.
Mm.
I'm pregnant, so it's not like we can do something like extravagant.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, life changes. I am pregnant with our first child as well.
Congratulations again.
Thank you, little girl. So I'm excited for that.
Oh.
And yeah, so in my previous life, I was like I like to say, a raging feminist. I lived in New York. I was very much an entrepreneur, sold my first company, second company was running, got funded, all that stuff. And then COVID happened with that company. And yeah, I went from a lifestyle of just hating men and doing everything possible to advocate for women. I still advocate for women, but in a different way now. Um, my passion is speaking to women and empowering women. Um, just the lens of which I look through is way different, and it's not saying like hating men is the is the route you should go. Is
Yeah.
the route you should go.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I was a feminist, and now I'm reformed. I'm a reformed wife. Um,
Shout out.
and
Congrats.
it took a lot of premarital counseling, regular counseling to get me to this place, and I'm excited to share some of my insights
Yeah.
today.
So you guys will have a chance to join the conversation in three ways. You can type your questions in the chats as we continue on. We may read some of the chats, but so you can type your questions or comments in the chat. Also, at the end of like the questioning, we're going to open up the phone lines. Yes, you could be able to call in, and you can even cam up and ask your questions, share comments, and so on and so forth. So you can join the conversation as well. Cool. All right. So if we don't engage too deeply in the chat, please forgive us. We promise we'll give you guys an opportunity to join the conversation throughout and definitely at the end of the interview itself. All right. All right. Cool. So let's get into the first question. All right. All right. Or even just the first discussion. The modern man and woman dilemma.
Whew.
Okay. Because now there's this there's some high profile people who I won't name because I don't want, you know, anybody come in and because there's some people out there that are that goes extremely hard for the men in the manosphere and the red pill that they follow. They go extremely hard to the point of um, just flooding comments with ugliness, right? Which is cool. I don't mind. Like I get insulted all the time, and if the insult is funny, I'll highlight it. Like if somebody, I think I shared this. Somebody told me, "Who's this old simp with the bell pepper nose?" I was like, "Oh, really? My nose is kind of big though, right?" But it's original. It's funny. But there's this term now, modern man and modern woman that's been the center of a lot of the conversations about relationships, right?
Mhm.
What is this dilemma, and what is this modern man and modern woman discussion all about?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a clash. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And I believe the red pill, and I don't know if you are censoring any of those like
Mhm.
words, but but I believe like the manosphere and the red pill community specifically was a response to feminism.
Mhm. I
And
agree. I agree.
feminism obviously has been around. There's been first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave. And so, with this whole women's liberation movement, it has basically made women more masculine, and
Mhm.
it has also emasculated men. And so, men are being demonized for being men, which is bizarre, but yes, definitely I definitely subscribe to that at one point, so I can see why it happened. Like I can see the attraction to that, right?
Mhm.
And so yes, matter because women have been put into these positions of power and tried to have this power grab, men have then been demoted to
Mhm.
second rate class citizens. And this has been their response. There's nothing wrong with being a masculine man. And we can't, although woke society would like for us to change our genders, biologically speaking, we can't change that. So that's, I feel like, the biggest clash that we're seeing today is that men just want to be men and they want feminine women. And women today are very masculine and don't even know what being feminine actually means because we were indoctrinated with feminism,
Mhm.
which is the opposite of being feminine.
Yeah. So it seems like like what you're saying and what I'm hearing is like today there's been a shift in the balance of gender dynamics.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
definitely the pendulum swung the complete opposite way. And I believe that we're on the trajectory back down, but I'm
Mhm.
hoping that it equalizes instead of just going back the other way.
Mhm.
Um, that's my hope. That's why I speak here on YouTube because I want men and women to come to the table. I want men and women to have happy, healthy marriages. Like, that's the goal of my channel. And to do that, we have to understand each other. And we also have to come to like terms that, like, this is the new society. We have to adjust and learn and kind of mold with the times
Mhm.
while also still having those like implementing traditional values, if that makes sense. So there's like a level of traditionalism, but we have to like work with the space that we're
Yeah,
in.
yeah, because we are in modern times, right?
Yeah.
And and traditionalism in 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 the purest form isn't bad. Like, understanding
Yes.
if it brings balance to certain things, it's not a bad thing. Some people may say certain things are archaic, outdated,
Mhm.
but certainly some things should not have to change because it brings balance. So
Mhm.
I think what you're saying is actually deep and true. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's what we're seeing today is like this is how I would explain like this modern traditionalism because that's essentially what I'm calling it.
mhm,
Is that women, first of all, the more that women were exposed to what men were exposed to on a daily basis, it jaded women.
mhm,
So our experiences before we went into the workforce was very different. We had to care for our families, we had to cook and clean and all of these things, right? But now modern feminism has taught us no, you don't want to do any of that. That's moving backwards. And I
Mm.
don't agree with that. There needs to be a balance. If a woman wants to work, amazing. I don't think men should also go for deadbeat women. Like I don't know what the value is there.
Yeah.
Like
See, I
I
can't say that. Like, if I say that, like the ladies in the chat will come for my neck. I can't say anything of the sort.
yeah, and like to say to women like, "Oh, you can't work." I think
Yeah.
that's not good at all either, right? Because
Mhm.
like yes, we are in this modern society and women do get more education, they get more degrees and all that stuff, right? But it's almost teaching women at a younger stage like, "Hey, you can get the degree, but you also need to focus on a relationship because it's not going to come 10 years down the road when you're super successful and a man is just going to pop up into your life and say, "Hey, I'm here, honey." Like, that's not going to happen, right? The same amount of effort and energy and time that you put into your career, into your education, needs to be
Mm.
put in intentionality into relationships, I believe.
And I think you're right there because now, before anybody seeks to get into a solid relationship, they want to make sure that they are solid themselves
Yeah.
in life, right? Which
Yeah.
I understand the concept. I understand the concept. Like you want to make sure that you're set, right?
Mhm.
So that you can have a family and things like that. But what's happening is um, so much focus is being put on careers, right? And
Mhm.
getting ready for a family that they forget that they'll spend, uh, from the time they graduate college, let's say at 22, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
23. And then they work 15 years trying to build what they want to build so that they can have a family. And now they're ready for a family, but they're really not ready for a family because they spent 15 years so focused on a career that they forsook relationships and they don't even know how to be in a relationship. So now everything that they know is work, 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 career, 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 advancing my career and getting established. And now in a relationship. And now it's like, man, like some men have already found what they're looking for,
Mm-mm.
or so segue, right? Because what you
Mhm.
said was actually deep. So segue into this question:
Sure.
are modern women looking to be a wife?
I think that modern women want marriage, but I think that a lot of women don't know what it means to be a wife,
Ooh,
right? They
okay.
want the wedding day.
Mm,
They will get engaged, right? That excitement to get engaged, and then work that entire year to make this one party for 6 hours that you will
mm,
probably forget. 'Cause
mhm.
I forgot mine. The only reason I know the only reason why I know that it happened, well, the only reason why I remember every single part is because I got a video of it,
Of
okay?
it.
But you forget things because you are so worked up that day, right? So it's a 6-hour party, and then you have the rest of your life with that person.
Mm,
And in that year, all you did was work your way up to that party, right? The dress, the cake, the tuxedo, the this and that, the who's coming, the RSVPs. But no one is focused on working and molding their relationship to be like, okay, now we have the tools. Now we're prepared to walk into this marriage and we are equipped, right?
mhm.
This happens to men and women. So, you know, I can't really we're speaking about women today. Um, but
And by the way, this is a two-part series, okay? So the men about to get it too. All right.
yeah, so you know, women I believe want to be wives. They want to know what it means to be a wife, but I think that today we don't even really have good examples of what
Mm,
it means to be a wife, right?
mm,
The loudest voices we see today are negative, are the bad examples. And we think that that just is across the board for everything.
yeah. So there's been some recent videos surfacing of
Miss
uh
Renner?
yeah.
I know I just put out a video today about that situation.
Yeah. Like All right, but that's yeah. We could talk about that another time. But yeah, but you're right. Like these are the examples, and there are young women growing up, Gen Z, and the generation after that, that get a lot of their social cues and their relationship education from who they see on social media. So when you
Mhm.
have young ladies out there who have toxic relationships and then get pregnant, and now publicly on social media searching for a stepdaddy for their children, like this is the example that our young ladies are looking at.
Mhm.
And then when I ask the question, are modern women really looking to be a wife? Like that's one of the reasons why I asked that question. And honestly, there's a lot of men. I'm married, so I'm not, I have a very beautiful wife, loves the Lord, but there are men out there who really want to find a wife, and
Mhm.
they don't really know where to look. And not even sure if there's some women out there that really want to be a wife. I'm speaking generalities. I know that there's women that really would like to be a wife and
Mhm.
want to be work in a family and in a teamwork situation like that. But with people like Miss Renner, it's it's disheartening for single men to even believe that the modern woman even cared to be a part of a family, let alone be a wife.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think all hope is lost, right? What
Hmm.
we have been seeing is this influx of the loudest voices, the minority, like these loud voices, right? The Brittany Renners, the Cardi B's, like
Hmm.
all of that, right? I also made a video about Cardi B as well because what women don't understand is that they listen to these quote unquote anthems, right? The WAP, the whatever. But if you look at Cardi B's actual life, she has a husband. Her husband cheated on her. She still took him back. If she practiced what she preached, she would have not taken him back at all. Now she has a second child and she does cook and she does clean, right? So
Yeah, right. The
so
inconsistency.
the things that are happening out there, they are trying to sell an image, but behind closed doors, there's a need and a desire to be a feminine woman. And I think that if more women, which I know so many more women are speaking out about being feminine, about what it means to be a wife. I have a whole video on it on my channel, what it means to be a wife, what men need, what women need in a marriage, right? And women have to learn from better examples, from married women, from women with
Hmm.
children. But the problem is too is that Jordan Peterson said this, and this is one of the things that brought me back to
Shout out to
YouTube.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, and this is what brought me back to YouTube is like we need normal women to speak out against their crazy sisters. And I've decided to take on that role. That's why I
Mm,
speak here because I was that crazy sister. I was the one that was, shouting all of these things in the streets and like, organizing like committees and rallies and things like that, right?
mhm,
So like I was one of those women. So if I can be reformed, if there was a way to break through to me, the most hard-headed, like control freak woman, there
mm,
is a way to speak to women. There is a way to break through to more women. And that's why I'm so passionate about it because I do speak about, okay, why why is this behavior being promoted? Let's learn from this situation and like switch like the position, switch
yeah,
what we're doing. So like taking these examples that we're seeing today, that's why I pull Cardi B, that's why I pull a Brittany Renner, because these are the people that these women are looking up to and they go, girl, yes, preach, that's my
mhm,
sis, like live your truth. No, you are delusional. And if it's and men like, KS and other guys that are out there in the space, they speak to women, but women don't want to listen to a man speak. Like, if you are that much entrenched in this ideology, and a lot of women don't even realize that they are,
Mm.
right? A lot of women, we've been like programmed. And then there's things that, like, when you hear the word submission, it just like makes women like,
Oh,
it makes women just
submission.
like,
What's that? Submission. What?
it makes us
Yeah.
like, because it used to irk me, right? Like, I used to like malfunction, and and it you have to break through that. You have to break through that. So I want to be that voice. I get a lot of hate, just like you. I get a lot of hate from the feminists. I get a lot of hate
Mm.
from women
But,
who don't like what
and
I say.
I could imagine. So I could be wrong, but I've seen on, like, on documentaries, the wrath
Yeah.
of, feminists, and it's a lot worse than anything that these pseudo men on YouTube want to insult me with. Like, that means that I'm pretty sure that you've had some pretty hurtful and hateful comments in your videos if you are speaking up like this.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm like a duck. This stuff just rolls off of me. You
Yeah.
know, there's days, obviously there's days, and everyone gets those days, right? But something that I learned from my husband, he says, just keep it pushing.
Mm,
The reason why you have haters is because you're doing something right. You're speaking
mm,
truth, and it's triggering a lot of people. And that is good. You want to trigger people because you want people to start addressing those issues that they have internally that they're fighting. Because a lot of what we as women go through is this fight, this internal fight of what biology says or what our hormones are telling us to do. And what society is telling us. Society is saying, you need to be the strong, independent boss babe. You need to own a company. You need to be the star of the show. You don't take anything from any man. Like, you get your bag and you go, right? But then on the other side, I'm sitting here like, but all I want is to have a husband and like want kids. But I'm not going to tell that to my brain, or I'm not going to say that out loud, because
mm,
I will get demonized by other women for saying that, right? It's that
mm,
fear of speaking out. And now my just mouth has just we just opened the floodgates, and I don't know, God is giving me some ability to not fear this at all, because
mm,
this is not all that I speak about. But on my channel, this is what I speak about, because women need to come to terms that if you want a life, if you want a family, if you want a husband, if you want children, right? And if you've been doing and living this life the way that the society has told you to live, and it hasn't worked out, it's called insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and
so
if you look at the state of, modern families and relationships, like, we're not winning. Like, we're not like more advanced in the area of family
mhm,
today than we was, you know 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. We're
yeah,
not. Like, we're not. We have more children born out of wedlock today than anything else. We have more children living in single parent homes than dual parent homes. Like, there's
mhm,
there's a problem there. There's a
yeah,
problem there. You know, a huge problem that some people, even in the chat, who feel like some people are living in 1993, don't want to come to grips with. You know, like here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna say this: people are afraid of standards, right? Because standards tells us, okay, these are the boundaries of life, and this is how you can live to achieve happiness, right?
mhm,
Then we're told, well, who are you to tell us how we should be happy? Well, I'm not telling you how to be happy, right? Here's some
mhm,
recommendations, because you've been doing things, like you said, like this for a long time, and you're stressed
mhm,
out. You got,
mhm,
three baby mamas, right? They all hate you, right? That you can't live because they're, taking you to court for child support, so you're staying in your mother's basement still, right? And you think that this modern life is good, like, right? It's
yeah,
Yeah. So, we really gotta to really deconstruct, you know, no pun intended, this whole modern concept of the male and female dynamic. It's got
I
to be deconstructed. We got to be able to look at it and say things aren't really working, right? Things look good, but they're not really good. And one of the things that in your video about Cardi B was like, yo, you know what? She's telling all these women how to behave like modern women while she's home cooking, changing diapers, right? And I'm gonna say it, and I say it respectfully, to a man who publicly cheated on her.
Mhm. Yeah, make it make sense for the rest of
Yeah,
us.
yeah. So I think what you're saying, is right, is key. And what I appreciate is that you're not afraid to poke the holes in the modern female dream and the modern male dream.
Yeah, and
Like,
it
yeah.
goes to the point where I also made another video about this too, whereas um, people are living in their nature, right? In their feelings and
Mm,
saying, well, this is my
mm,
truth. This is
yeah.
how I feel. Well, as we all know, feelings are very fickle, right? They change with every minute of the passing day. Like, 1 minute we're happy, 1 minute we're crying. And feelings are not a good way to live your life. This is why discipline, this is why I love what there's some men in the manosphere that are preaching men need discipline. And this is
Mm,
where I'm saying too, to women, we need to learn personal responsibility, personal
mhm,
accountability, and have the self awareness to do all of that, right? Because what's happening is that everyone's living in their truth, in their feelings, and what makes me feel good. And this is how we're seeing society run today. And
mhm,
when you see a society run like this today, there's no standard of morality. There's no values set up because you create your own value. And as we know, I get my value from God. So I know the type of woman that I am, right? But here
mm,
people are like wandering around aimlessly trying to figure out what they want to be today and who they are tomorrow and who they want to sleep with today. Like, so
yeah.
what I don't like about it is that, yes, female nature exists, right? That's what the manosphere speaks about. And this is where I'm trying to change this is to teach women, you need to be disciplined. You need to start like owning your mistakes, your things that you do, right? If you're going to sleep around with a lot of men, there's going to be repercussions to that. It's not just I can do whatever I want.
Mhm,
This whole like liberation movement, right? What is it's doing is making women more depressed, causing more issues. We're
mhm,
seeing more more destruction of the family. But that's what this woke feminism ideology wants. They want to remove the nuclear family. And that's
mm.
where children got most of their morals and values.
Values
That's
from,
why
yeah.
that's why I was raised in a two-parent household, right? My mom could have left easily given the situations, right? She decided to stay. My dad decided to stay. They decided to work it out. And guess what? I learned what it was to have a family unit. Was it perfect? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I thank God every single day that I could have a mother and father in the home and that I could build relationships with them. And then when I did go off and have my prodigal daughter moment, right?
Mhm,
I knew where to point back to because I
mm.
always had my North Star. God was always protecting me, even though I didn't know I was
That's dope.
trying to wall out, right?
Yeah, that's dope.
so, so you know we have to come to terms that it's not about feelings, it's not about that,
Yeah.
it's about we have to have a level of discipline, we have to have a level of morality. And if we don't know what morality is, that's why I feel bad, because I feel like the manosphere, and even I wouldn't even say feminism because feminism just went crazy,
Mhm,
but I feel like the manosphere has it almost right, because if you just add God into this into the
it'll be
picture,
it'll be
I'll
perfect,
be
right?
like, y'all will figure
Yeah,
this out.
yeah. Yeah, God, the fruit of the spirit, self-control, all that
I'm like,
can
guys,
be
it's
strength.
all in the Bible. We can just read it here.
Right?
Bible
Yeah, man.
session.
For real. Man, so I think that that's good stuff because the feelings aspect of it is rich in this modern idea of male and female.
Hmm.
Um, one of the most scariest verses in the Bible is in Judges, where and every man did what was right in their own sight. Right, so everybody does what makes them feel good, whenever it makes them feel good. Right,
Hmm.
and it could be even if it's at a detriment to somebody else. It's just it makes me feel good, so it's right and it's right to me. So we live in a time where everything is right to me, what makes me feel good at a specific moment, and we're not very disciplined, are we? So when
No.
we get into relationships, our focus is how is this person making me feel instead of
Hmm.
what can I do to
Hmm.
make sure that I'm a faithful partner to whoever it is that I'm with, a faithful spouse to whoever it is that I'm with. That's discipline. It's not
Hmm.
based on feelings. It's based on like this is good stuff, yo. I was like trying. I'm about to find something I'm gonna disagree with, and I can't yet. I can't.
I
Right? I
mean, like
can't.
even in Ephesians 5, right? Like I
Mm,
I point to Ephesians 5 all the time, right? Because that's
mm-hmm.
the dynamic of husband and wives.
Yeah,
Like before it says submit to your husbands, it literally says
a whole
submit
list.
to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, submit to one another. That means that we have to work as a team. We have to submit to each other. It's
Mm,
not that the wife is submitting to her husband and then the husband can do whatever he wants. He has his role in the marriage as well. He's supposed to love us. And so, men, right? Like, if we look at the dynamic between husband and wife, men require honor and respect as their number one need. And
mm-hmm.
women we require security, that
Mm,
love, that feeling of
mm-hmm.
I'm taken care of, right? So when you have that dynamic and it works, because if I control my husband, if I lead the household, we're falling into dysfunction.
Mm,
Okay, it's
mm-hmm.
happened and we've tried that and it
Yeah.
didn't work. and
Yeah.
and 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 a man is supposed to love, protect, care, be the rock, be the like stand at the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Protecting his household.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we've forgotten that as
Yeah.
women, we've been told you need to be the leader. You need to take control over your own life. You need to do this, right? But this idea of control in a relationship falls apart. You can't have two alphas.
Mm-hmm.
You can never have two alphas. That competition will never allow the relationship to move forward because you're always going to compete, you're always going to butt heads. It's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be that way, right?
Yeah.
And you can't have two betas, right? You can't have
Mm-hmm.
two people that are just so submissive that they don't make any decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You need the head and you need the neck. The man is the head and the woman is the neck. You can't turn
Mm-hmm.
the neck. You can't
Without the
turn the
head,
head
without the head
without
becomes the neck.
without the,
Yeah, yeah.
without the neck. And so I believe that we are missing that concept in relationships today. As you pointed to, right? We do everything selfishly. It's what can I get? What can
Mm,
he do for me? What can she do for me? What
mm,
can I get from this relationship?
mhm.
Marriage is not about I, it's about we. And if people don't understand that going into a relationship, it's going to be a very hard relationship to
And
get through.
it's going to end soon, which is one of the reasons why more than 50% of marriages in you know in Christendom and in the world just it ends in divorce because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like as you mentioned, the goal is to find to have the most grand wedding experience, right? And some people honestly believe that that sets the tone for their marriage. In actuality, it really doesn't, and I'll explain why. Right, you can have a grand, it could appear grand, right? And if that's the tone you want to set, you want it to look a certain way, then you're going to feel the pressure of having to look a certain way in your marriage. All right.
Mhm.
Also, while you're trying to look a certain way, you can have two people who are getting married making wedding plans are and at odds with one another, can't stand each other during the whole process. And they
Mhm.
got to fake loving each other at the wedding because now they can't stand each other because the planning process was crazy. Was crazy.
Yeah.
He wasn't helpful at all, and she was a bridezilla. And now they gotta pretend like they're in love now because they really don't want to get married because of the whole situation. So yeah, I think what you were saying there was actually, was a dope analogy. Like we really focus so much on things that really don't matter.
Matter.
It makes me feel good at the moment. Me having this grand wedding makes me feel good at the moment. And
Mhm.
we lose sight of what's really, really, really important. Shout out to Ulysses with the super chat. He has a question. I'm going to bring this up for a hot second. He says, or a comment. Uh, I think it is truly good. I think it's still truly good women, though it's very few now. I also believe a lot of people rush getting with someone younger who probably isn't right. I agree. Yeah, I think some people, uh, they don't go into looking for somebody for the right reasons. But I'm glad that you said that, Ulysses, because that's going to segue into the next question. Okay. The next
Mhm.
question. I told you, men, you're not exempt. Okay. Are men delusional about wanting an IG baddie to be their wives? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. Because some of these men, they think they really look at the external and want to
Mhm.
choose a wife based on what they see, right? And
Mhm.
listen, uh, a pretty woman isn't necessarily going to make a good mom or a good wife or give you a good home, right?
Mhm.
Who said that? I think it was a quote by Denzel. I think I saw recently, right? That his father told him that a sexy woman won't necessarily give you a good. I don't know the verbatim, but won't
Yeah.
necessarily give you a good life, or make a good wife or make good moms, right? You don't
Yes.
choose a good mother and a good wife based on how a woman looks solely, right? So
Mhm.
are men delusional? Because again, we talked about, do women really want to be wives? Or can they identify what it means to be a wife? And then are men even in a place to even know what a wife is, to choose it properly? Because we can, like some men in the manosphere and the reptile space will tend to put the blame completely on the women, right?
Mhm.
But then we have to take some kind of responsibility and say, you know what? A lot of men are in the positions that they're in because they chose incorrectly.
Mhm.
They made poor choices and chose incorrectly. So, which also results in more baby mamas out there, more single mothers out there, things
Mhm.
like that. So, are men delusional about wanting an IG? And I put IG baddie because I think it's a cute, like it's funny. It's funny, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, here's the thing, people are very visual, right? When I met my husband, I thought he was very attractive. He equally thought I was very attractive, so hence there was attraction there present. So, yes, I mean, there is a level of delusion because what 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 we're seeing on social media, and I'm not even going to say IG baddie, right? Because what we're
mm,
seeing on social media is all fake. Like, I'm so sorry to break it to you.
facts.
Uh, it's a filter. I use
Hmm.
filters. I will be transparent, right? If I'm having a janky day, I'm putting on a filter on my face. Okay. So, filter filters exist for a reason, right? Women know how to pose, men know how to pose to make you look a certain way.
Hmm.
Then add the surgeries on top of that, right? And if you even are looking at an Instagram model or an Instagram influencer as an ideal woman, we need to start relearning what it means to, or uh, what reality actually looks like. Like, we need to come
Mm.
to terms with what reality is, because there's great YouTube channels that actually break down like what they look like in real life and what they actually post on social media. And
which is really like the true red pill, blue pill
yeah.
dilemma,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And so what I think is what I think needs to happen is that men, yes, there has to be a level of attraction there, right? For men and women to want to have a conversation or get to know that person, right? But I think we need to come to terms of what actually, who, like, assess this, right? And assess what you can get. Because a
Mhm.
lot of people, especially women, we overvalue ourselves in the dating market. We say, oh yeah, I'm like a 10. Baby girl, you are maybe like a 6 or a 7.
Mhm.
But what's happening is that she sees other women on social media doing the same thing, and then you can manipulate how you look on social media. And when you get to the real world, you're literally catfishing each other because you're like, that's not you. That was you
Mhm.
10 years ago. That was
Mhm.
you 40 pounds ago, right? So we need to come to reality that there is a filter on social media. So don't take it at its word, right? We have to like
Mhm.
dig deeper, and we also have to look for things. Good looks and a body and all that stuff, yeah, that's great. Congratulations. But if she's a shell of a human, if he is
Mhm.
a shell of a human and can't hold a conversation and doesn't have the same values as that's what you need to look for, right?
Mhm.
That's what you need to come down to. Because yes, my husband and I were very attracted to one another. But when I heard he was a church going Christian, I was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say to me? You just spoke the magic words. He's like, oh, I volunteer at a church. I'm sorry. Let's get the check.
Yeah, right?
so but that's what I'm saying. It's like we need to like, yes, attraction is the first level, right? But then we have to go a level deeper, and that's where you find out who that person really is. How do they treat the waiter? How do they treat other
Mm.
people around them? How do they
Mm.
speak to their family members? A lot of this intention, I speak about intentionality on my YouTube channel. But we, like you said, pointing to what you said, these men are choosing these women and then blaming them. Like, hun,
Mhm.
did you not see the blatant red flags right in front of you?
Yeah.
Like, she was trying to get your money from the beginning. Like, do,
Mhm.
do you not listen to others around you? Like, so what's happening is, like, yes, love can blind a person, right? That lust, because that it's not
Mhm.
really love, it's
Yeah.
lust.
Mhm.
Lust can really blind people, right? And so we need to get to a point where it's like, okay, lust aside, does this person have similar values as me?
Mhm.
Like, do they want the same things in life as me? Like, let's put all of that aside. And if they happen to be super attractive, amazing. But what I've seen is that usually the more attractive they get, the less they have here and here.
Mhm.
And we need to come to terms where, like, we're average people. Why is average such a bad thing? You
Yeah.
know? And I feel like social media and online dating has not helped in this. I guess it feeds the delusion, right? it
Yeah.
feeds it feeds into that, because we think that what we see on Instagram, having the cars, having the planes, having the bags, having all that stuff, is going to lead to happiness. But when my dad died, my husband was there literally holding me as I'm, you know trying to get my life together.
Mhm.
That's what matters. That is the thing that you have to look for, is, can this person be with me through thick and thin? Is this
Mhm.
person going to be by my side if I get sick, or my family member gets sick, or these
Mhm.
things will happen in life. It's not the cars, it's not the parties, it's not what you can buy. And I think we all need to get out of this delusion, men and women, right? Sorry, the real world exists. Why don't you
Facts.
walk outside? What I tell men? I said, you want to find a wife? Go to Target, Marshalls, Home Goods, TJ Maxx,
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Girls, you want to find a husband? Lowe's, uh,
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
That's got, that's deep. Yeah, that's deep. See,
Like,
she at Target, she's frugal and You know, she knows how to shop for the home. You know, at
Yeah.
Home Depot, he knows how to build a home. You know what?
Build.
That's advice that we need to start, taking into heavy consideration. That's dope. Dara Cunningham says, or the gym, or the
Mhm.
gym. Yeah. All right. So last question. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And then in a few, we're going to open up the phone lines and the video chat for you guys to come on. And Fernando, you're more than welcome to come on, bro. More than welcome to come on. All right. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, I think that there's still a lot that needs to happen, right? I think that if you want that person, right? If whatever that person you have in your mind is, right? Whoever that person looks like, you need to work on yourself first. You need to like I've talked to women that were like, I want a man who's 6'5", who is ripped, who is has this makes six figures. I'm like, okay. I'm so sorry to break it to
I
you.
call that this. I call that the 666 guy.
Yeah. But
6 figures, 6-pack, and 6 feet.
yeah. And I'm
That's
like, honey, didn't you just eat a a tub of ice cream like 5 seconds ago? You haven't left your house this entire pandemic, and
Mhm,
like what are you doing to reach that level of man,
mhm,
right? Like we think that that they're just going to come to you, that the FedEx man is just going to knock on your door and that's going to be your husband. No. So like we have to put the phones down, right? We need to work on ourselves
mhm,
internally. We need to do the work
yeah,
internally, externally, right? We need
mhm,
to develop personal awareness, personal responsibility, and use our self awareness to do that, right? And we need to become better people so that we can be the person that we want to aspire to date, right? Like it's not saying that you're going to be perfect, but
yeah,
at least you're working towards something. At least you're putting the work into being a feminine woman or a masculine man and learning what those things are. Going to reading books, listening to podcasts, working on yourself. And then from there, we become better versions of ourselves so that we can meet that person that's like, wow, okay, we're here, we're doing it together. Because I'm going to tell you, like, like my husband and I were working on ourselves. We were doing our things. And when we came together, we weren't perfect. We still aren't perfect. No one's perfect, right? We're never going to be. That's why we have Christ, right?
yeah.
But, but, we can work and grow together. Put your put take off pride and put on humility, right? You're not all that. Sorry to break it to you. You're just a normal person. Go live a good life. Like stop aspiring to be these crazy things that don't even exist in real life. These
Mhm,
Instagram people, this Instagram life, because I'm telling you, I used to work in private aviation, okay? They rent a lot of those planes. They take the picture and then they leave, okay?
leave.
So, I'm telling you, this is
Wow.
not this is not what reality is.
Mhm,
Put the phones down, work on yourself, and once you start working on yourself, you're going to start attracting the person that you desire.
mm. A real
That's
person.
a real actual person.
An actual person. All
that
right.
you
All
meet
right.
at that you meet at Home Goods, Target,
Target.
Home Depot, and Lowe's.
Lowe's. That's dope, man. That's all right. So, guys, if you guys want to join the conversation now, you guys have been like heavy in the chat, heavy in the chat. So, I greatly appreciate it. There's a couple of Fernando says at the Prada store. If I find out like Fernando and I known each other for years, if this is Saint Fernando, we grew up in the harbor together. If people like that were not hitting on you in school, you ain't getting an adult. All right, Richard, I hear you. I hear you. What else? What other comments? And guys, I just pinned the link in the chat. If you guys want to join the conversation, come on up and share your thoughts.
We don't bite.
We don't bite. Derek Cunningham, TV, 100%. And what's going on, Derek? Glad you're here. All right, what else we have? Wait, somebody says at the garden center. Yep,
Mhm.
at the garden center. Todd says, yes, they are delusional to a degree. It's a facade to feed the lust.
Mhm.
All right. And shout out to the new subscriber, Adeline Sela. Thank you for joining the Harrison extended family. And we got Fernando in the house. What's going on, Fernando?
Hi, Fernando.
What's up? What's up? How's it going?
Good, good, man. I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, likewise, man. I just I just decided to join the conversation because I saw I saw the advertisement on Facebook, and
Yeah.
I was on my way driving home from work, and I think that a lot of men are just mentally abused. I think a lot of men
Mm,
have a lot of mental issues, and it needs to be addressed because I'm speaking for myself because I've been
mm,
married 3 times.
mm,
And one day I decided to ask myself, I said, what's wrong with these women? And then I decided to ask myself, what's wrong with myself? And
mm,
then, like, if you have the means or if you have the benefits to get a psychiatrist, I think that's the best way you should go. I think,
mm,
well, like earlier, I commented on the young lady saying that she was living in 1993. I believe, like, a lot of females don't listen to people like how they used to, like how like we
Mhm.
used to listen to Charles Barkley and David Robinson,
mm,
and look for role models. I think a
Mhm.
lot of women are going by like their own experiences with men,
mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they're going by their own experiences with men, and they're yeah, I don't know. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. And I think the health piece of it is actually very true. Because again, a lot of men hold things in. So they're not able to process properly. So they're and taking all this things that are mentally traumatic to themselves, right? And there's no
Hmm.
outlet or even no way for them to process it healthy outside of the barbershop. And then sometimes you're not getting the best advice in those kind of settings. And
Right.
we're not going to go to pay money to tell somebody that we got a problem and go to a professional counselor, because, black men don't do that, which we need
Mhm.
to.
Yeah.
So I think that's
And
a good,
my pastor, it was hard for me to even go to my pastor because my
mm,
pastor was married 4 times and he has children out of wedlock and grandchildren out of wedlock. I mean, he gave his heart to the Lord as I did, but it's like still he wasn't the one to really, to come to talk about with this.
yeah, yeah. And Dara, there will be a part two. All right. We're going to be discussing men as well. All right. But we're talking about men tonight too. All
Mhm.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
I will say too, so that is so true. I heard this from one of my pastors. He said, hurt people hurt people. And I
Mm,
think today we're living in a society where too many people are hurt. They're taking their past trauma, their past baggage with them into relationships and they're not addressing it. And you are so right to go seek professional help. I
mhm,
think that, it's easy to put the facade up that everything is okay and that, we're just living the best life, right? But we need to come to a place, and I'm so happy you came to that place where, like, asking the question, what was my role? How did like, where was I in this situation? It's not just them. I played a role in this situation as well. And then not only just getting like professional help and counseling, but also surrounding yourself with men that you aspire to be or to look up to, like you
yeah,
said, right? When my husband, and I speak transparently for both of us, he knows that I speak about this. He didn't grow up with a father. He didn't grow up with an active father in his life, right? So when he became an adult, he was living by himself doing his thing, right? And then when we were doing premarital counseling, he was already surrounding himself with good men. And once we, were in premarital counseling, we started attaching ourselves to couples who've been together for 20, 30, 15, all of these years, right? They have the experience. Then we can say, hey, we don't know what to do here. Like, do you guys have advice? You guys have gone through this. You shared it transparently. I think we have to come to a place where we have to be transparent with one another.
Yeah.
And I applaud you. It takes a lot to do the self-work, and it looks like you're on that track. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, shut up.
Thank you. I've been prideful for years. You know, I think pride is the first obstacle that men have. Well, men have in order to get to that level, and but they like one day when you strike out 3 times, you got to ask yourself, who's your hitting coach?
Facts. True. Yeah, man. Fernando, thanks so much for coming on up. We got a Gordon here too.
Thank you,
so I want to get him on.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you.
All right. Gordon, how's it going? You still with us?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I'm here, man. How you been?
How's it going? Thanks so much for coming
Can you
through.
hear
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, Rebecca, I seen you on the First and Fit. Seen your thoughts with Kevin Samuels, I respect your opinion, and just want to give a shout out to you. You did a great job, and congratulations on your born baby, and I'm glad you're happily married. I'm glad God convicted you, the Holy Spirit led you. You're making a good example to women, and speaking for men and women. I'm proud of you. You're the sister in Christ, because we all are one blood. No matter what you are, black, white, polka dot, doesn't matter. We were blood. Period. So I want to say this, that the manosphere. Look, I used to kind of slightly follow McDowell and everything, but I will say this: every man has been hurt because we've been rejected. We've been hurt. Why? Because we weren't taught by our parents about facing rejection, and that's the biggest problem. All we tell them is that, hey, son, you're a handsome man. You'll be a great husband. You can get girls and stuff like that. Princess, you're a beautiful princess. You can get any man you want, and all that stuff. I mean, that is true, but the problem is we never teach the teenagers about rejection. And when you don't teach them about rejection, what happens? They lost their way, their feelings are hurt, and they go on the wrong path and everything. And this is what happens to them. They hate men, they will start to hate women, all these kind of things, or go into a different lifestyle because they were not taught about rejection. But if they were taught about rejection, yes, they will feel the pain, but they're going to remember and say, yeah, I remember what my mom and dad told me, that one day I'm going to face rejection. And guess what? This is where they'll learn to endure it and learn to overcome it by the grace of God. And we have to teach the kids about being rejected, and that's the problem right there. Look, I'm going to say this, okay? Me as a man, I used to hate women because I was rejected. It's okay, all right? I was rejected, and I feel some type of way because, yes, I was hurt. A lot of men will always use the term, I always use the word who hurt you. Of course. You were hurt, period. You were abused by your mom, you were abused by your girlfriend, grandma, or whatever. So it's okay. And here's the thing, I give women respect because even though some of them are not saved, but at least they were open to talk about it because they want to be free, they want to be delivered, but they don't know who to be delivered to. But the thing is, we as men, and sir, you and I both know, because we're men, and we know men very well, that we're very insecure when it comes to our problems. We don't talk about it. We'll talk a little about it, but we don't want to give enough about it because it's emotional. Yes, we can be emotional, but not emotional to the extreme. We have to talk about this. And this is the problem. We don't talk about generational curse. And this is what's been going on. We have to face general curses. And God was talking about general curses from Exodus to Deuteronomy. We have to break the generational curse. If we don't do that, this cycle is going to continue on of hatred on women. And let me say this. I give shout out to the women that's getting their education. You want to know why? Because we are not doing our jobs. Instead of saying that, you women are just getting your education, we don't even say, you know what, you're not doing our job. We need to work harder too. So I'm glad these women are getting our education so it shows that we're not doing our job. If we look in the positive light that women are getting their education, we just say, okay, we need to step up, so therefore we can get higher where they are. So we show that we're leaders, so therefore we can take that leader. Look, my wife is in the Air Force, a sergeant, doing human resources, and I'm an IT guy. Do you see me complaining? No, I'm proud of her. But at the end of the day, I'm still leading. I'm still ahead. You know why? Because I have grace and I have love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not hate. It does not boast. It does not discriminate. It does not show hatred of anything. So if I can do a lot of things, like Paul said, without love, I am nothing without love. And because the problem is why men are like this today, because they don't have God in their heart. They will tell you that, oh, women need to be submissive, but they never will tell you that they're not submissive to God. You never hear them say that, sir. You know that. They'll say, oh, women need to be submissive. But the question is, are you submissive? Is the man submissive to God? You don't hear that.
Yeah, and I think those are actually really dope points, and I like that you're bringing it back to accountability on where it should be. I thank you so much for your comments. I want to try to get to other people that are waiting in the chat. All right, but thank you so much,
Gordon.
man.
That's all I have to say. Thank you. No problem, buddy. Keep fighting the fight. You too, sir. I'm glad it's a channel.
All right, thank you. All right, and we have a question. Ulysses says, if someone ends up with someone who had a child with them and living together but was never married, broke up, and with someone else new, is it adultery? So he said that I think that answer your question. If they never got married, then they wouldn't be committing adultery even if they had a child together. So fornication was what they were doing, and a child was out of that. So I think so that's the distinction there. Let's get Dara in. Dara, you here? And then we have Todd waiting in the back. Yeah, we can hear you, Dara.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Because when he was talking, it was breaking up. Like I could hear you guys clear, but I couldn't barely hear him. I couldn't even hear what he was saying. So
we heard. I was able to hear him. It was a little choppy, but we was able to hear him.
I'm clear.
Well, we can hear you clear. You coming in loud and clear.
This isn't StreamYard, so I don't have a picture available.
Oh, it's much better though. It's much better than StreamYard. I mean.
No, I'm trying to remember my point. No, I think I was gonna just make a comment. I'm laughing at Rio in the comments. I was just gonna make a comment on, like, it always amazes me that I see men saying that it's so hard to find a good woman in 2021. That is very surprising to me. Being a woman, I'm in my 30s, and I have gone to women ministries and everything where I see these women that are like crying their hearts out, all this hurt inside due to a man. And it just broke. I went to one meeting back in St. Louis, and it just really broke my heart to see how hurt a lot of them were. And and even in my personal life, I know a lot of women that I know are really good women, and they're single because they keep running into this cornball issue. The same issue that I've run into.
You're gonna have to. We need context. Cornball.
So cornball just means a man that stretches the truth about what he's really looking for and what he's desiring. Like you're trying to be on a serious note.
My fourth graders call that capping.
Right, exactly. And so, like, I know I personally experienced that even in my 30s, but I know a lot of great women that are also experiencing the exact same thing. It's the same stories over and over and over again. So it just really makes my stomach cringe when I hear men saying it's so hard in 2021 to find a good woman because they're all around me. So I don't understand it. I don't get it. That's my 2 cents.
Dara, you need to get your collective group of women, and you need to like put yourself out there for all these guys to see. Like start a channel, say, hey, I'm gonna do what's it called, a live dating thing. So hey, there's an idea for you right there.
Right. And then I'll attract more cornballs. I mean, like it's really unfortunate. Like it's so sad. I feel bad when I hear the stories. It's just like, man, like what is going on? But I'm a woman. I know that there are great men out there.
Well, actually, there's a great man on the line now. A great man called in.
Right. So
Real, are you there?
I think everything is about timing.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything is about timing, but when you're waiting and praying for a long time, I think you can get discouraged. And that's a lot of what I'm seeing is a lot of women are getting discouraged. And these are great women. And, it's just unfortunate. I just had to, I just wanted to chime in and tell my little 2 cents, because we know I am single, a great woman, all the above. But no, I have not met any men that I feel like are on the same level mentally of where I am. Doesn't mean you're a bad person or whatever, but it's just that mentally, it's not adding up. And I'm in my 30s. So, a Christian woman that has been raised up to try her hardest to do things in order, from 20, not from 20, but you know what I mean? Like 20 is the age where or 18 is the age where you're just really, really wanting a relationship, even though we don't know much about a relationship at that age. But for all of this time to pass,
yeah.
And, some men that you met, maybe just naturally that just weren't for you. Doesn't mean they were bad guys. But then as time go on, you're meeting guys that really have horrible agendas. And so once you pick up that radar, you immediately just shut them out, because it's like, okay, they're not on. I can see where this could head. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that guy,
it's really
Pete,
discouraging. I'm just throwing that in there.
That guy, Pete, you refuse to invite to gatherings, left a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. And he actually gave us a definition. He expounded on your definition. Cornball equals bad boy or the dreamboat whispering sweet nothings. These guys break your heart. You build big walls because of them, and then you can't figure out why men don't want to build a bridge or get a ladder to climb it. Yeah. So, yeah. So
well, here's the thing. Choice. This is what I have to say about that. When you experience the cornballs, it's you shouldn't be building walls blocking people out, but you should have your radars on, because you're supposed to be learning from every situation, So for me to go and look for the same type, type of man or whatever, it doesn't make sense, because what did I take from that last situation? So you have to take something and apply it. So it's not that we're trying to build walls. It's just that we have to be careful of who we allow into our energy.
I have a question, Dara.
And
have you gone to Home Depot or Lowe's to find one? That's I mean, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Yes, that's what my life consists of. I'm always by myself. When I'm not with my nieces or whatever, I'm all around here. Now I'm living in Houston, where you would think it would be a lot of people. But I'm always by myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm a believer that God can send you your husband from anywhere. I believe that. But somehow I have not met him yet. And time, like this, it has been a long time since I've desired all of that. So
may God give you the desires of your heart. But at the same time, all right, I'm gonna encourage you, that Proverbs 31. All right. Just give you that encouragement. All right. What I love about Proverbs 31 is that it's a direction that a mother is giving her royal son on identifying the things that he should be looking for in a wife. And Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." But then in Proverbs 31, she asks him, a virtuous woman who can find, for she is her value is far more greater than, rubies. So I think that's the standard that many women would benefit to look to when it comes to being a wife, to be prepared to being the woman that they can be in a position to be found
Right.
by a man. But real talk, you're there. What's going on, bro?
Dre, what's going on? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Hey,
What's going
Real.
on there?
Hey, Real.
Hey. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? I seen your content. I love your content. I just need to say that real quick.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And we got Todd Banks
No
in the
problem.
back. He's in the green room, so we want to get him in too. So we'll
Wait,
be right with you, bro.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna
just wanted to say to Dara
Look.
too, reach out to me on social media, at Rebecca. I am Rebecca Barrett. I'll work
Ooh,
through it
my
with
face
you.
all the time. I'm on the wrong angle. Okay.
I'll
I
work through
will.
it with
It's I
you.
am.
And I'm putting
I
her
am
IG in the
Rebecca
chat
Barrett.
now. I'm going to put the link in for the
Okay.
IG now, so that you guys can access her and follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, this is a longer conversation than just right here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah. So, Real, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm not gonna be long. I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I just wanted to say that to everybody out there, we need to stop acting as people, because Dre, you do a job at this. You are real good at keeping things balanced. So I just needed to say that we need to stop acting like one gender is better and more well behaved than the other, because there's a lot of women out here. There's a lot of men out here, and equally, I'm gonna try to not use my French, so pardon me. So we are equally messed up, men and women. We are equally messed up. Now, women are more vocal about their displeasures with men than men are with women. Men are being more vocal about it nowadays, but women are still way more vocal than men are about their displeasures. But that does not mean that women are less messed up than men are. I still think it's about equal, as far, because like they always say, hurt people hurt people. Man will hurt a woman, then a woman will turn around and hurt a man, and it goes in a revolving cycle. So as long as we both, men and women, both take accountability of our actions and how much we hurt people, that's where it starts for you to realize that we're hurting somebody, and then that's how we can fix ourselves, by first noticing that we do hurt somebody. You see what I'm saying? And then that's where it starts at. So we all need to fix ourselves, both men and women. That's all I needed to say. So, Dre, you're doing a good job with this show. Rebecca, shout out to you. I will follow you, and Dara, peace to you as well.
Yeah, and if you guys just
You too, Real. I was
right click.
Say, I can agree with that, but I still think that the percentage is larger of on men cheating on women and it causing all of this. I still feel and know that the percentage is bigger, but I do agree with Real that everybody has things to work on. That is true. Nobody is perfect, man or woman.
All right. Thank you, guys. I want to try to get Todd on right now. All right. So thanks, sis. And thanks, Real. All right. Wait, we get her back on. All right.
I was like, I went away.
Todd, bro, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, bro? Oh, I'm dropping stuff like crazy. I done dropped my phone, dropped my stuff. I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well, bro.
Dropping. How you doing, Rebecca?
Hi, Todd. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to get this phone cut back up in here.
By the way, Todd is a brilliant photographer, videographer.
Say, look at all of his
equipment. He's official.
I'm in a closet.
Official.
I'm literally in a closet. We moved and let me show you. Like this is my space. It's a closet. Literally. And that's it. But I'm making it work. So that literally, I just came back from New York filming a wedding, and
you was not in New York, bro. What part of New York? What part of New York?
I was upstate. All right. You'll consider that New York. I get it.
No, it's upstate. That's upstate.
Yeah, that's upstate. But yeah, I just want to say there's a couple things. But you touched on it, Rebecca, so it was already, I was like, dang, I might as well. That's when I jumped off, because I'm like, wait, she done already said what I was going to say. But No, but it's the education piece. Like honestly, we young men, men and women, modern, you know, saying what we're lacking is mentorship. We're lacking that. Like you had mentioned, that you know what I'm saying, you attached yourself once you know what I'm saying, once you got married, you attached yourself to married couples. You know what I'm saying? You sought after wisdom. You wanted it. You longed for it, and that's not the case anymore, and that's what we're failing. In my opinion, is that we don't admire mentorship anymore. We don't admire as a whole. Like I'm talking about society. I know in the
Yeah.
church we have protocols in the faith, in the household of faith, that work, but they don't know that. And I think as part of our responsibility, that's why, like, I was like, when you said you came back after your dad passed, and you know, my sincere condolences to you. You came back, you know, and you found your voice again, and you came back and you started this. This is a good thing. This is a great thing. This is a God thing to me, because one, I'm still trying to find my voice back from a tragedy. I lost my son, and I'm still trying to figure out. Dre say, Todd, post some videos, man, get it going.
Yeah.
But so on that note, you know, this is a powerful segment to me. And on the second note, when you know, the fact that you're trying to reach out and you're trying to swing the pendulum, well, you're trying to stop the pendulum from swinging too far left or right, try to get it right there.
Equalize
say,
it.
okay, can we reason right here? And that comes with mentorship. That comes with attaching ourselves. But so where are the mentors? Where are we? Like I'll be 26 years married to my beautiful wife.
Shout out, Charlotte.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we, you know, God send people to us, and we you know, we do what we do when we can, you know, for the journeys that we go on. But this is what's lacking. And I'm you know, it's not that I'm a traditionalist, like everything has to be traditional, but there's certain things in tradition, like proper etiquette, like opening the door for a person. That's just kindness. You know what I'm saying? Seat them first before you seat. That's just that's because you love them. Like we need to start teaching that. You know what I'm saying? We need to keep the education of that going. And I think that because we don't embrace the education of love language, of how to love, you know, we're leaving it in the enemy's hands to just say, hey, let them think and do as they feel. And they don't know any different. They don't know any better. They don't want to know anything. They just want to go. And then when they want to give up, they just want to stop. And it's like, come on, man. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Love is a choice. And you know, you guys, both of you know that, you know, it's a choice. I choose. I'm a knucklehead. I'm surprised, but I'm blessed to know that my queen is still with me. But she's a knucklehead too. Like I was a rapper, she's a hip hop dancer. She, you know, my high school, you know, sweetheart. You know, we both not rap too tight, but that's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fix her. She's not trying to fix me. We're just trying to go through life unbalanced, unfixed, but loving each other, like, you know. And everywhere we go, we try to make sure, and even in our devotion and our prayer, we ask God to let that illuminate through us, because we want, you know, if you attach someone to us, we want them to be attracted to the love we have for each other, as it signifies the love you have for us. You know, so we try, but because we know that we have a responsibility to help push this along.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of my spiel.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that as well, because the one thing that my husband and I noticed in our relationship is our level of transparency with one another. And then that just overflowed to other people. And they're like, how can you be this transparent? Like, I shared my testimony here on YouTube. And trust me, that was like a panic attack waiting to happen. I don't know how I made it through, but I'm talking about real things, like things that in the church we don't speak about, like pornography, sex before marriage, things like that, right? And I think it's important that more people show their transparency, show what real life looks like, because if if, on the outside looking in, we look like a perfect couple. You probably look like perfect people, right? But we go through our ebbs and flows. We go through our high times and our low times. And what God has done in my life is he said, no, your gift is being transparent. I don't I share to the point where I share enough, but I also keep it 100, right? And I think that a lot of people these days are keeping it 25%, okay? Like maybe 10%. And so we need to get to a level where that guy Pete, he says, you're building up these walls, and every time you're going into a relationship or into a friendship or something, we have all of these walls built up, and you're expecting people to jump over them, hurdle over all of these things, when in reality, yes, there are going to be people that hurt you, like Fernando says, right? There are going to be people, or someone else said it, Gordon, someone said that, people need to learn how to deal with rejection, right? So we have to have a level of transparency when we're talking to one another, right? We need to get to a level down, like a level underneath the surface level conversation. So how's your day? Blah, 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 and actually get to talk to people. That is one thing that I love doing, is having those intense conversations with one another, because you feel more connected to each other. And at the end of the day, it's like, wow, that was a great conversation. You don't get that too often. But I want to inspire. I want that to be what we, that's what I feel will bring people to the table. That's what I think will swing the pendulum, because if men and women are saying, I'm not perfect, we're not perfect beings, we have issues, but we come to the table and say, look, I messed up, you messed up, but we messed up people. Let's keep it pushing.
That's our motto, yo.
Heal together.
We're together at this.
Yeah. She'll say it in a minute. She say, man, I'm such a knucklehead. It is what it is. But I'm not here to fix her. I'm not here to fix her. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I was getting into. I was getting into an imperfect person, being an imperfect person. You know what I'm saying? My decision was simply, you here, I'm here. You felt what I felt. Yo, is this love? I don't know. You want to explore it? All right, let's go. How many steps you want to take? 26 years, 27 years? All right, let's keep going. And then we'll review afterwards and see. 27 more? Let's see, God willing. Let's hit it. But never in that path am I trying to say, dang, you see people, as you see, like you said, like the IG baddies, and you see all of this stuff. And it's like, that's all out of reach. It's all inconceivable, and it's all off limits. You know what I'm saying? But that's, and it's not because I've been in this 27 years. That was off limits after I said I do. It's just off limits. It's just off limits. But who's telling them? Who's telling a modern woman, a modern man, that's off limits? They're like, nah, man, this is a smorgasbord, and I'm Templeton. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hold up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's writing the rules here? You know what I'm saying? These rules, honestly, these rules have to be governed by God. But everybody say, well, I don't believe in God, so I'm not subjected to his rules.
And then I'm going to do me. Then I'm going to do me.
Right.
I'm going to do me.
But, and that's what it becomes. And it's like, you know what? Well, how do we attach ourselves? How do we shine this light to them enough for them to be attracted to it? So we're not preaching it to them, but they say, like, dang, I like what Rebecca had.
Yeah.
Her and her husband, they cool. Like, I like Andre. Like, I see Andre and his wife traveling, and I'm like, okay, I'm inspired. I'm 27 years in. I'm like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get fresh. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get fresh. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That becomes the bar to jump. Not how many I could slay. Nah. She all I need. And that's because
I hear a song coming, Todd.
I've decided that she's all I need. If I feel like I need more, I just ask God, Lord, give me more through her, because that's my human.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
I'm feeling like you're about to go into the studio and drop a hot 16 dedicated to the wife. Yeah. You're about to.
Yeah. I'm that close. I'm that
At
close.
first sight, I had to meet you.
Had to meet you.
Calmly extended my hand to greet you.
Okay, Dre. I see.
It's one of the hottest tracks I've ever heard, man.
Yeah, that was a blessing, yo.
Yeah.
That was a blessing, yeah. But yo, thank you for joining me into this, man. I appreciate
my pleasure.
it.
Thank you so much for coming through. Enjoying the conversation.
Good for my soul. And I'm gonna follow you too. But put a link in the thing. Put a link.
Yeah, I put an IG. I should actually I'll put it down. I'll put it again, and then I'll pin it. But if you guys want, not if you guys want, what I want you guys to do is, if you have not subscribed to her channel, in the description, I at her channel. Please go to her channel. She has some great content there. She's extremely transparent, genuine.
Too transparent.
So please, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna replace this pin. I'm gonna put that. I just pinned it up to the top. So please hit up an IG. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's Todd Banks from Rochester.
Yes. It is the Rock.
Yeah.
Todd Beasy.
And shout out to again Ulysses Smith 3. He says, if it's no problem, can I ask for prayer, please, that God can show me and the lady I'm talking to, Catherine, that we met each other for a good reason and can trust each other and not ignore God showing us. Yeah, we can definitely pray for you, bro. So, by the way, like I do appreciate the super chat, but you didn't have to send a super chat to ask for prayer.
Yeah.
And now it's like one of those. I gotta pray for him, and he gave me $10. Right. I don't want to. It's like he, yeah.
Like, you got that back, buddy.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, we could pray for him right now. That's cool. Rebecca, would you do the honors as a guest? All right, and we'll agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time together, Lord. Thank you for bringing this chat. Thank you for bringing all these people here, God. I pray for Ulysses and Catherine right now, Lord, that you show up and show out in their lives, Lord. I pray that you just reveal yourself to them in this situation, God, that you restore whatever needs to be restored and you bring healing to whatever needs to be healed, God, and that you build their bond stronger every single day, Lord. I pray that you have your hand on this relationship and other people's relationships, God. I pray that you continue to work in our lives, God. Everyone that's in the chat here that's hurting, Lord, that has found that has been rejected, God. I pray that you heal, that you guide, Lord, and that you restore. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, man. So I had you on for a hot hour and 35 minutes, right? And
strong.
Yeah, and usually I'm done in an hour, right? I'm done in an hour, but this was too good to stop. Yeah, but we'll close it now so that you can have a chance to spend time with your husband, and because that's me, family is family. I don't mind going on talking about this, but I have a family also that I want to sort of spend time with as well. But Todd, thank you so much for joining the conversation. I'm going to step down.
Peace and love.
All right. Now, if there's any final thoughts that you want to just share before we close out.
So there was a comment that I read before. Someone said, is premarital counseling
I saw that
necessary? I would say that it's recommended. Oh, my camera just went off. I don't know what
there you go. You're back. You're back.
The enemy's like, no, shut her off. But I would say that premarital counseling is definitely recommended. I don't know if you can still hear me. I'm like frozen.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. We're losing it. It's like giving up here. But yes, I definitely recommend it. Find a counselor that you trust and that you want to work with. But yes, I highly suggest it. It's more important to work on your relationship and building that foundation before you get married and before you walk into it. Because once that ring is on and once the documents are signed, I'm so sorry, but that's that.
Done deal. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Yeah. You said that. So that was the first thing. There was one more.
Yeah, and then I lost the rest of it.
Ah.
Here,
All right. Cool.
we'll move me to this camera.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, you know, I feel, Dara said something. Dara said, what's it? It's hard to, I believe she says, it's hard, but most don't like to admit that they're wrong. I think that that's the place that we have to come to, admitting our wrongs, right? Admitting the fact that we don't have all the answers, that we don't, we're broken people, and we have to come to that fact. And being transparent, yeah, it might, you know, it might not serve us in every relationship, in the sense that, like, yes, you might be heartbroken, yes, you might go through something, but at least you were 100% yourself. At least you brought all of yourself there. And if that person wasn't the right person for you, then just keep it pushing. A lot of times people are getting hurt, right? Because our egos are involved. So we need to get our egos out of the picture. We need to get our egos out of the picture, and we need to focus on, what's the goal, right? Like, if we want marriage, if we want children, right? We're going to have to stumble and fall. That's everything, things don't come easy, especially relationships, right?
Mhm.
But if we are 100% ourselves, if we are transparent from the jump,
Mhm.
right? You kept it 100. If that person wasn't the right person for you, cool, that wasn't the person for you.
And that's the best way to do it. That's the
Yeah.
best way to do it. Save headaches on both ends. Be who
And
you are from the very beginning.
and it shows more about their character than it does about you. And you
Yeah.
have to understand that people are hurting. People are, they're dealing with a lot of stuff. So a lot of the times when, we get ghosted, or people, find themselves in these situationships, right? Like, you have to understand that that person also is going through something as well. So having grace to understand, maybe it's not my fault, but if it was, okay, evaluate. Was I fully transparent? Did I come 100% correct? Did I bring it my all? Because if you did that, right, then you didn't lose. Like, I think about it in business too. I brought 100% of myself every single time, right? I did. If my company failed, it still failed, but I still gave it 100, and I gave it my entire shot. So it was still worth that experience, right? And like Dara said, she's learned from each individual situation, right? But we have to take that, apply it, and learn from it. And not only that, but we have to look through a new lens, be like, it's okay, it didn't work out, but that doesn't mean that all men are bad, that all situations are bad, right? We
Yeah.
have to say that person wasn't the right person for me. It might be the right person for someone else, but my person still exists clearly out there, right?
Mhm.
And I've become a better version of myself, and I'm more transparent, and I'm more upfront. We have to be that way. The only reason why there was a couple reasons why I ended up with my husband, but the fact that he could be 100% transparent with me on our second date, he told me all of these things. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had a man tell me, like, keep it 100, like, keep it funky with me,
Yeah.
right? And he was that guy, and I was that to him, because I was already like that.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying.
There's
is
no
like,
mask.
there's no mask. So you don't have to play the games. The games don't lead to marriage. All right,
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right.
I'm done.
Man, this was a good discussion. It kept me on 40 minutes longer than I'm supposed to be on.
I know, my bladder's like.
All right, man. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that Ruslan shared. Actually, we were featured us both back to back, and when I saw it, I said, let me follow you and see what you were about, and I was like, yo, she's official, and she's official, and she has a balanced perspective and gives it to both the men and the women. So I think that your voice is definitely needed on here, and I appreciate being able to have content like yours to glean from. That's going to be promoting positive families out there. So thank you so much for what you're doing in this space, for real.
Thank you for inviting me, and I really appreciate it. This was one of the best conversations I've had in a while, so I appreciate it. And thank you all to the chat too. You guys have been awesome.
Yeah, the chat is
so many
dope.
questions. I know.
Yeah, the chat is dope. And for everybody that came on and joined the conversation, and even those that shared super chats, man, I really, really, really appreciate it. You guys rock, man. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna close it out. All right, and thank you guys so much. Right, I have to play my my end music. All right. All right. So guys, thank you guys so much for joining the conversation and being here tonight. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to listen to the discussion and join it as well. So we thank you. If you have not done so, hit the like button. Okay. And also hit the subscribe button. By hitting the subscribe button, that will make you a part of the Harrison Extended Family. That means we are now extended family members. So hit that subscribe button and the bell notification next to it, so it'll let you know when I upload new videos and when I go live like I'm doing tonight. And also, if you would like to support the channel, you can hit the join button and join the Harrison Extended Family by becoming a channel member. We have 3 very inexpensive tiers, or is it 2 inexpensive tiers. It won't break the bank, but it'll offer a little bit of support for us to continue doing content like we're doing tonight. Again, we appreciate you. We thank you so much for supporting the channel and being a part of the discussion tonight. And until the next upload and live stream, I'm out. We out. Peace.
Bye.